Hi everyone, this is Dan Razor, and this is my tutorial for Soul Blazer. There's other tutorials as well from Everhate and Elmagus, both great ones to watch as well. This one's just meant to be a bit more coinciding with the guide that I'm writing, just so then it kind of helps know where to reference things as we go. This run is going to be very much meant to be helping you with your first run, so it's not meant to be over optimization or anything like that. It's just, let's get through, let's go over the safeties and some of the other strategies we can take. So either way, start with the guide itself. I'm going to have a link for this on speedrun.com at some point, and also this guide is going to change a little bit as it happens, because this is meant to be a living guide. It's meant to have updates by moderators like myself or others as we go, just to keep this current as possible. There are other guides by Stinger PA, which is a very good one if you want just something more concise, but again, this is meant to be something that's a little bit more visual, and we'll see as we go along here. So first part of this is a Google Doc with tabs on the side. So if you open it up on your phone, when I get this link going, you may not see those tabs, but it's meant to help separate things out just so that you don't have a big long file to look through. You just got a little bit of partitioning to make it a little bit easier to find what you're looking for. So the first part is just a little bit of the guide up front, just the kind of the structure that we have. So we have speedrun history, which for me is just kind of tracking on things. Like, it's kind of fun for me just to have those notes ready, but if there's anyone wanting to make a video or something like that, then we have that prepared. We also have fundamentals section, which goes over different areas of the actual movement of combat, menuing, other parts, just aspects of gameplay, just to help you understand them better and also see with these little GIFs examples of how it works. So we got movement, and notice some of these are just going to be, some are complete, others are just varying levels of complete since I'm still working on those. So the route itself is going to be the one that you're probably going to spend a lot of attention to. I'm just going to move those down a little bit, just contract those. So the route, the first is going to be just an area description. Again, work in progress, you're going to see a little bit of that. But the big thing to pay attention to are the basic route and the bosses. The specific strats are stuff I'm going to be adding in as we go, which is meant to be more little specific parts that can save you a little bit of time, but want to get some pictures with it and other things. And that's going to take me a little bit more effort and work, so I just want to get this out a little bit sooner just so we're able to do that. So the basic route, a lot of this has the same structure. It's going to have the name of the area, just a little picture, screenshot of where you're at, and just follow the numbers. Those numbers will correspond to the descriptions down below. So the verbiage on that is probably going to change over time. I'm trying to get things out there first so then I can get feedback and just get people using it, just so then I can learn and improve this. So if you follow top to bottom on this, you'll see there's other numbers, everything like that. If there's any that are S's, that's meant to be for a safety strat. So you're able to use those for reference if you need to. The bosses do have as well some strategies, a little bit about their behavior and what we want to do for their fastest strats. Again, it's going to be evolving as we go. So some of this in this video may look different from when you're looking at it whenever you're watching it. So let's start out and let's go from here. We're going to basically do a run as if I was kind of newer, or kind of not necessarily newer, but just kind of more safer on a lot of things. I'm going to move this guide over here just so we're able to follow along if you're kind of seeing where things are at, just to help you out. So trying my best. And nice thing too, you can click on this little arrow to hide that as well. So we're going to do that. Let's start off, let's get into the game. And the other thing to note is this is prep for the Everhate race coming up on April 25th, 2026. It's a Saturday, roughly going to be around noon Central Daylight Time. Or actually noon Eastern Time, sorry. And so plan accordingly on that one. There'll be more details in a separate video about that. But first off, we're going to get into the game. We right away go from the menu, say menu into this. You'll notice that we start off in this hub. I'm not going to go too much over the mechanisms of the game, the basics or whatever. It's going to be more of just the route itself. So normally if I was doing a run, I'd put one letter, but since this is preparation for the Everhate race, let's just put our name as Everhate. That's usually a tradition, just to do that. And then the time would start at 3, 2, 1, then it would be right now. That's when you would start the timer. So, first room, the room of trials, we're going to get the Sword of Life. And then we'll go to these cherry heads and just defeat them with sword pokes from up top. You can also swing the sword a little bit. It is faster by a frame if you just defeat them by using your sword, but if you're doing your first run, do what's comfortable for you. So ultimately, your first run, split the splits up. I recommend do it or a time, and just find out what your initial time is. Just complete the game. That gives you a reference, so the next time you can just try a little bit faster and see if you beat it. So don't worry about trying to get your first time to get a big goal or whatever else. Just start with completing the game first. My 2 cents anyway. Alright, so leave that and then go down to here. Now we're in Grass Valley 1. I am going to equip magic and putting my cursor there. And you might ask, why are you putting your cursor, item cursor there? Menuing does take time going in and out of the menu, so we try to save a little bit of time doing that. And if we put our cursor onto any of these items and we get that item, the cursor will stay there. Not the case with the weapons, armors, or magic. If you get a new sword and your cursor's on that sword, the cursor will disappear. So we don't want that, but we know it works for items, so we use it there. Let's go into the underground castle. First off, we're going to fight these cherry heads. Now there's several ways you can do it. You can just fight them separately on the side, or you can kind of get these enemies coming over on the right. So you can do some sword swings if you want to get those. You can also use a little bit of downward pokes, which I mean just holding the sword out. And one thing you'll note I'm going to do here, you can either clear the layer or seal the layer when you clear it, or just keep moving on. If you keep moving on, it actually saves you about a second or two, so it's worth doing. Now here, you notice I skipped some layers. Again, the guide shows that a little bit. Just me moving up here, going through this and up through that. Then we'll step on this one. Then, next section, we're going to go to here, and we're just going to do the safety strat here. So, just defeat these enemies. You can either, these cherry heads, you can either do sword swings or whatever else. They only have 3 hit points. And then we release this tool shop owner. Not required, but releasing that tool shop owner will give you a consistent source of medical herbs if you're learning the game. Since the any percent route, the optimal route has a lot of risk to it, so just want to make sure we're all going at a good pace. So then on to the next section, going on this conveyor and just defeat these enemies. Now you can do a little bit of multitasking between this layer and the zipfly layer down there, but we'll defeat these bond guards first. Now you can seal that now or later. It's not going to hurt anything because once you defeated all the enemies in a layer, you've cleared it, it will always stay cleared until you seal it. But if you've partially cleared a layer, I mean there's still some enemies left, and you do a release that causes a screen transition, namely when you release an NPC, then it's not going to quite go. So then I'm going to get this dream run. And now you'll note, hey, it's there. So a little bit of a nice little shortcut there. And let's seal this layer. We release the bridge guard, who allows us into the right side of the town, Grass Valley. And we'll keep going further. I'm going to scroll down here. And we have a Gepper down there, which we don't need to worry about. Oh, that one up there spawned again. We got these cherry heads. Now you'll note if I step on the left side there and just hold my sword out, they're not going to move. Same if you're stepping above them in that spot on the tile. It's just the programming a little bit. Someone actually made a patch to fix that for fun, but yeah. Here you can either use fireballs or you can just use sword swings or whatever. Sword swings are nice because they actually stun the enemy movement. Those pineapple plants move randomly, so it makes it a little difficult. What we released here is what some people call Hype Cave in the randomizer, but nice little secret cave there that will allow us to get iron armor, which can be a good safety if you're learning this. Gives you 1 defense, but it can be useful, as well as some gems. So, defeat this layer. And again, multitasking other stuff, I'm not as concerned about it in this tutorial. We're just trying to get through it. So. There'll be other videos that kind of go more over the strats on that. So we've released the Watermill Keeper. That'll allow us, once we talk to that NPC, to open up the way to the next area. Because right now, if we try to go up this elevator, I'm an elevator invented by Dr. Leo. I cannot move unless the watermill is turning. So, guess what we have to do? Now I'm going to do a death warp here. Just taking the damage. And you'll notice my gem count goes right to 0. Not the best, but hey, that's okay. You'll also notice I moved a little bit. That's because I was holding down during the screen transition. It's 1 frame, you save doing it, but if you die a bunch, it's a little bit goes a long way sometimes. Talk to this guard. And then we'll go down here first and get that iron armor and the other part of it too. And if you want, you can talk to the fairy as well, or the gem fairy. Gem spirit, I think? I'll just go with gem spirit. And then we have the iron armor. And now we can talk to this guard, which we were able to talk to them before. We'll talk to this wheel. When you move into that spot, you automatically turn and face it. So, all good stuff. And one thing to note with any text boxes in this game, if you're holding a direction and you're pressing the B button or whatever button to try to close it, it will not work. It'll stay up there. So if you find you're not able to close the text box, check to make sure you're not pushing a button at the same time. Now we'll seal this layer. This has the old woman in town. We need this because it's a building that has the staircase going up, and in that area is where the guardian of this area is going to be. The leader of this area will give us the MacGuffin we need to get into the next spot and whatever else. And continue on in the game. So we're going to go along here. Just going to keep forgetting to scroll this down with me. Oh, the water slime was getting me a little bit there. Oops. And I'm just going to go along here. So first, I'm just going to go up here, just kind of walk past everything. And we got to defeat these enemies. We have these Geppers. One thing you can kind of do is move side to side to just lure the fireballs different ways. You can do sword swings if you want. Either way is completely fine. And step on the layer. Now we've released Lisa. Important NPC, but also, you know, she's snoring. So the dream rod we got earlier lets us get into dreams, of course. So very important that we talk to her later. Just going to go down here. And those enemies, we have plenty of gems. So we're just going to use a little bit of this just to get ourselves more experience if we want. You don't have to. And these, you can either use sword swings or just walk around and get them. So, Now that we've done that, we will keep going. I'm just going to scroll this down a little bit just to keep the guide trying to have that along with. So this next area here, this fork that's right up there, if you go north, you got 3 direction changes total that you have to do, but it's 8 frames faster than just taking the one to the right here. But that's if you're perfect with it. I'm not necessarily perfect, so I just take this right one here. And 8 frames for reference, there's 60 frames per second, so it's either going to be, you're going to get a lot from it or not much. It's like about an eighth of a second. So next we're going to walk around here. You can defeat those enemies if you want. Otherwise, I'm just going to walk past like these geppers here. They're going to shoot their fireballs, but be careful. We've got a little bit of gems here, so we can defeat these bond guards with that. And get the last one. You notice I can stand here. Enemy doesn't do anything, so it's like some interesting programming on that side. I think it's an XY coordinate check that's like 1 pixel off. If you're on the other side, that enemy is going towards you. But since it's kind of built in, their mistake is our benefit. So you can either death warp, or you can talk to this gem fairy if you want to keep those gems. For now, for safety purposes, let's just do this part. Actually, no, our health is pretty rough, so... But now let's do this. Yeah, I'm a little wishy-washy, but that's okay. A little indecisive. Alright, so then let's step onto this first, just to refill. Anytime you go to the Master Shrine, you're going to get your health back. And then we'll talk to Lisa. We have the Dream Rod equipped, so I'm just going to talk to her. And going into the dream, the goal is just to step on that layer that you're familiar with if you're playing the game casually. Now, one thing you can do is I'm going to hold R and B and just go left, and I automatically talk to her on the first frame there. That's something you can do on this game. Is just not really needed, but it's something neat if you want to throw it in. It's not going to hurt anything. So Lisa's ticked at us for invading her house, which understandable. And now she wants to tell us a story. We're just going to keep going. Because, yeah. Now, one thing you can do as well, we unlocked the tool shop owner, so we'll talk to the tool shop owner, and they will give us something nice. A medical herb, as I mentioned earlier. So anytime you don't have medical herb, you can come back to Area 1, and you can get that herb. And then we'll go back into the underground castle and go from there. Now you can either pre-equip Leo's brush or equip it after you get it. But we're going to just take a little bit of damage as we go, just to speed up the death warp. You notice they're only doing 1 damage per hit, so all okay. And that's even with us. Oh yeah, we did have the iron armor on, so... Even if we didn't have the iron armor on, it would be 1 hit point each. So we got Leo's brush. Just going to equip it. And then just walk into this enemy over here. Now you'll notice our gem count is, again, going to 0. Oh well. But it does save us a bit of movement. We don't have to go back after doing this. So definitely recommend doing that. Then, now that we have all that, the stuff we unlocked in the second area of the underground castle also included this architect that built this staircase and this old man who has this oddly suspicious painting. Since we have Leo's brush, we can just walk towards the painting, and as we make contact, we'll get dragged in. Just going to pause a little bit, and you can see a lot of the stuff I discussed is in this guide. So if I'm going a little bit quick, don't worry so much about it. It's okay. Sorry about that. We're going to... This guide will be able to give you the reference you need. So, if it doesn't, let me know. So, just going back and forth, fighting these dragon birds, and then getting this, and then the stone fire pots here. You can use fireballs, or you can slash them. It'll be fancy. Your sword arc does allow you to hit multiple with one swing, so it's up to you how you want to do it. Then come up through here and defeat these spear guys. And just up on that layer. And notice I was able to step on the layer before it exploded without it doing damage to you. The layers do not do damage to you, it's just the enemies that come out of the layers. So because of that, I'm able to, like this, and step on a little bit faster. It's a nice little time save, but don't feel like it's critical. It's something to add in later on, basically. So then we've got some stone blocks of doom over there, or some blocks of doom. You just use your sword just to defeat them like that. Otherwise, you can use an upward fireball. Like if you're over here, you can kind of walk over and just do a fireball or something like that. To step on that to release those. And I'm going to keep scrolling. There we go. And then walk through that metagrainer, or the metal pineapple, some people call it. And just face right, just slashing the enemy here. Again, just recommend being either probably best from the left or the west side of it, just attacking rightward. Then the enemy won't do any damage to you. So right now we want to keep as much health as we can. The next screen is going to be very simple. Just walk through, just go north, and avoid those spears. Next section, let's get this safety taken care of. So I'm going to go through here and defeat these spear guys. Took some damage, but don't fret. We're doing a safety for a good purpose here. Now these enemies do take a little bit longer to defeat, but once you do that, hey, we open up another shortcut. So if I step on that, we get our health back. Also, if you want to save, you can certainly do it there too. Or go back to town to get an herb. So now I'm facing this way. I'm going to use a fireball just to the north to hit all those at once. And just defeat these. Get this nice little notch here. Facing right, just slashing those enemies. I'm up here. You can certainly be over here. It's just, hey, I got hit over there. So just got to be careful. I am going to switch over to the medical herb at this point. And we're almost at their first boss. We're at the first boss, Solid Arm or Metal Mantis, however you want to call them. And we've got these conveyors here. This boss is going to shoot fireballs, just goes back and forth. And you'll notice when the boss is moving around, it doesn't do any fireballs. So the base, kind of the way that's kind of simpler, is just to do some damage, walk away. You're holding the sword northward, just do a little bit of damage, walk away, and do that. If you're a little more daring, you can go to this side, and you can just tap down. You can see I'm not going too far forward, because if I go too far forward, the enemy turns into metal and starts slashing. Again, this is covered in the boss section, which has all those things just so that you're able to see those details along with gifs of how it's done, as well as how it's different in the Japanese version. So, the only caveat with the tabs is when you go back and forth, sometimes it puts you right at the top of it, like it did here for me. So, we'll go back down here, and we just went through the boss fight, and then we'll go back into this. Maybe I should put some links in there just to go back to that specific spot. We'll see. Okay, so we released the village chief. Now leave this room. We're going to take the fast way, which is just going down the center conveyor, because it's going downward. Why not? Then these metagrainers, they're going to do pretty good damage to us, but I'm actually, you can see they're only doing so much. If I had my armor off, they'd be doing 2 damage each. So, and guess who had his herb equipped? Good job, Dented. Oh well. So, there we go. Back to the beginning here. So back to the Master Shrine, of course. And now that we have released the leader of this area, we need to talk to him. So let's go talk to Village Chief. And you can talk to him from the back or to the right side or the left. Doesn't matter. But probably top or right, probably be faster. Now the mashing here, you can use either B button or Y button. Thing with Y button is it does not initiate another conversation. B could possibly do that. And directions also work when it's the last box you'll see here. Or not like that one, but sometimes it does that. But if you use two of those inputs, a direction, Y or B at the same time, it will not close it. So something to be aware. All right, we got the green stone and we're done with area 1. Getting this little bit of a speech from the master about the stones and everything else. And telling us we need to go to Greenwood. Next section will be area 2.